defend with those rots. So in the top left we have Gobo, the red Zerg. I believe he is the one who sent in the replay against MiKADO, or something of that sort, the blue Protoss in the bottom right. Speeding this up just a bit since there is no immediate cheese on the way, it seems. We will slow it down if something changes. Apparently blue was in its cell. Red and him might be friends, long-lost friends, but they will be trying to beat each other in this match. The 14 pool going down for the red Zerg. We don't see that normal 15 hatch on the way. The forge fastest ban, however, for the Protoss, he is going to throw down that Nets probably. He did scout the pool, but you usually can squeeze in that Nets without having to worry about any form of a cannon anytime soon. Just because Zerglings still have to be made and get across the map. So that gives plenty of time for a cannon to be made. I forget exactly how long. 40 seconds for a cannon to be created. That's quite a bit of time, but not nearly as long as it takes for Lings to get across the map. The Queen coming out and the Natural coming out for the Zerg about the same time as the Protoss's Netsus. No cannons going down yet. I believe this probe, yes, this probe was still in the base. He did not see any Lings come down, so he was feeling pretty confident. He does throw one down now just to be safe, because this Overlord does see the wall, and if he did not see a cannon going down, more Lings would be made. Sit's coming out now. He might see if he can poke at something, but that cannon can hit the entire ramp and any position that the Lings could attack those buildings. He's going to throw down yet another building, probably another gateway here in a moment. What will we see? He does throw down the double gas in the main. He might start that Stargate play like we see from a lot of Protosses. But this probe is sitting here. Maybe the Cyber Core will come next. And there is the Cyber Core. That wall being left open for a Zealot to come out, and the probe making sure no Lings get by in the meantime. These Lings coming out might be checking the front with that Overlord as well. They will see that probe. The probe is not on hold position, however. And these Lings get in the main base. They won't be able to do much damage, but they will scout the double gas. And he might be able to be annoying with these, get a probe kill or two, but other than that, they will not do too much damage. Taking some mining time, though. The Zealot coming in to hold off against these. Oh, okay, so he did block this off with another pylon. That's not really a very efficient thing, because now this pylon will have to be taken out later on, and that probe is now trapped in the open wide world for the rest of the match until that does occur. The third base going down for the Zerg, since he did see the forge fastest ban and no 7 gate going on. So he does feel confident in taking that third with those Lings. He made sure that there was no Stargate play. He made sure that there was no 7-8 all-in going on. The pylon is going down, though, so that way that probe can come in, and he can wall off like normal with the Zealot holding position here, unlike that probe who must have been A-moved or something. I don't understand why that happened, but a simple mistake that can actually do quite a bit of damage to you. This probe actually getting into the Zerg main base, not seeing a Roach Warren or layer started. So he must know that something economy-based is going on. We don't see a third base for him anytime soon. You don't want to get it too early as Protoss, but it should be coming out here in a few minutes. The Roach Warren just going down now that the probe has left the base for the red Zerg. And we do see these injets being kept up on. I believe this was a Masters level game, so their macro should be quite good. The pylon going down back here, he might start a Stargate back here or some other form of hidden tech. He has no other buildings at the front. Moving out with a small force, though. This Mothership Core will allow him to recall if he gets overwhelmed when he goes to pressure the Zerg with this attack. This is not meant to kill him in any way, shape, or form. This is just meant to make him make units rather than only making drones. The speed only recently started, though, so this might do a little bit more damage than expected. And these units moving into the third base momentarily. He will see these Lings come out and he will kill those. The Stalker being left out here, that would be a nice pickup if these Lings saw it. This Queen will be picked off here momentarily. He does want to not lose the Sentry here. Surprisingly, just letting that get picked off, he really wants to kill this Queen with the Zealots. 8 Roaches on the way, a Stardate for Protoss. He will need to get out of here really soon if he wants to survive, and he will do some damage to these drones, but not a whole lot. Still 49 drones on the field. I I forget the units lost tab all the time. Units killed is Control R. So he did kill 3 drones in that exchange, but that's about it. The Zealot will be left for dead now that these roaches are coming out. He did not cancel the Spore Crawler, however. I would assume that he would have seen that the mothership did leave and that the Zealot was going to die and not kill the drone, but we see Roach Speed coming out as well as a Phoenix for the blue Protoss. Hydrogen coming out in the meantime. I don't think he has started this at all, but he must just expect it because it is very common for a Protoss to go for those Stargate plays, and this Phoenix is out and has shown itself while just killing that Overlord. So we might see a counterattack from the Zerg, but I don't know how effective it will be with those force fields, the cannon, and a few Phoenixes to pick up any loose roaches. This Overseer will be picked off momentarily from these Phoenixes. 30 supply down for the Protoss because that attack was not too effective. The 1-1 started for the Zerg for those ranged units to make those roaches much more effective here soon. He is going to move in and take out the sentry for free. You do want to focus those down so later on in the mid game you can come in and just get through with a much lesser force field count for the Protoss here soon if he does pressure this. The force fields do go down, and a few roaches will get caught here and not do too much more damage. That cannon might go down actually though. He doesn't hit it anymore, and it will still do some more free damage to those roaches due to the force fields blocking them off. 2 Phoenix are moving across the map, and the Robo about to finish up for the Protoss. Hydra's attack, range attack, the range upgrade will be out here soon, and it is about halfway done. The other upgrade is queued up. You don't usually want to queue things up, but he must just feel the need to in this scenario. Trying to get a few free Overlords here. If these Hydras do pop out, the Protoss will get the scout, but he will have to run away. Focusing these down as fast as he can, trying to do some form of damage with these since he already made the investment. More Phoenixes coming in, actually 5 of them total, and he will see Hydralisk out on the field now. He does want to get out of there or pit them up. There are more Phoenix than Hydras at this point, so you can pit them up and get those free kills to lower the later game Hydra count. The Immortal coming out to deal with those roaches, as well as the Robotics Bay coming out for those Colossi here soon. Picking up a few drones to do as much damage as possible. A total of 5 have been killed, but that is not a very substantial number for as much as he's been trying to do with that early attack, as well as the Phoenix. 2 Queens have died to these Phoenixes though. A lot of Overlords are free kills if he just keeps attacking them, and he could pick up these Hydras. There's only 3 Hydras. Yes, he won't be able to do damage to the drone count, but he will take out any form of anti-air here in the main. More Hydras popping out. He does have to run away. He did seem to lose one of those Phoenixes. That's just bad control, but it happens. The Robotics Bay about to finish, and the 3rd base will be going down for the Protoss here soon. Down 30 supplies still, plus 1 armor for his ground forces is on the way, as well as one of those Colossi. We will see the ranged upgrade for the Colossi here soon, I would hope. More roaches and queens coming out from the Zerg. We don't see much else. The drone count to the probe count, still 16 workers ahead for the Zerg. You do want to get more probes out than what he has at this time. He is making some more, but that is not enough to keep up, it would seem. More Hydras on the way, as well as that 2-2 to counter at the Protoss's 1-1 he will have by the time that finishes. Protoss does want to get another Forge out and that Twilight Council so he can get the extra upgrades. The range has started for the Colossi to make them much more effective against those Hydralisk. There is more damage going down over here. You do want to try to do some Zealot counterattacks or just harass with those Zealots. You can warp in. He must have warped in here and ran over while I was talking. So in a fight, those are very effective, but just throwing them out there, he did do some damage and stopped mining, but he didn't do quite that much. 7 drones have been killed in total throughout all of these harass endeavors. So the Zerg is moving out possibly soon. He is at 155 supply compared to only 110 from the Protoss. We see another mortal on the way. The infestation pit coming out for the Zerg. He might get that high for those Vipers, making Colossi much less effective if you can pit them out without any contest. If the Protoss doesn't scout that, then he will not have Templars in time to feed back those Vipers, and that will be very, very problematic for the Protoss. We see a lot of roaches being made. almost supply capped for the Zerd, and he is moving out across the field. He will probably wait for those roaches to come in to finally attack the space. A lot of lanes up the front. At the front, he is checking for a third over here. I don't know. He does not know about this base or that those rots have been knocked down yet. He might assume, however, that that third base is over there. The army coming in here, he's not in a very good spot to engage this Protoss army. That Colossi will do a lot of damage. He does open up the wall, however, and kill the cannon. Not much damage being exchanged to either side, though. Zerd did lose a few units, but he is on 4 bases now. That Zealot counterattack, keep pulling him back yet again, though, making sure that he can't just fully engage the Protoss army until he is ready, making another Colossi. That hive is halfway done, though. Once those Vipers do come out, if that's what he's going for, they will be very instrumental in the Zerd's victory. This base getting surprisingly low. If he did another Zealot counterattack during some form of push from the Zerd, he would actually probably kill that, unless some spine crawlers are made here soon. We see Blink being made from the Protoss, trying to get that that Blink micro down for his Stalkers, keeping them alive for much longer once that is in effect. Other than that, only probes are being made. More extractors for the Zerd. He wants to get that gas for whatever units he is going for. Other than that, not much going on at this time. He doesn't know about this pylon yet, it would seem. So that is his bane right now. If that 4th base does go down, he might start it with this army here momentarily. Nope, just pulling back from it again. Doesn't know about it. That could be a problem, and it could not do anything. These Vipers coming out to abduct the Colossi into the Zerd army. Dark Shrine coming out late game. Could use that for Archons, and he could use that to try to quickly take out this base. Spore Crawlers are in the other mineral lines due to those Phoenixes early on, so they will not be as effective. The Swarm Host upgrade for Locust coming out, as well as 3/3 from the Zerd. The +2 armor from the Protoss is on the way. He has 2/1, he will be on that 2/2, but Zerd will be on 3/3, which will make his units much more effective and do a lot more damage to that Protoss army. The energy sap from the Vipers on the way to make them get them ready for battle much faster. They will have enough energy for 2 abducts each, which will definitely be enough for a total of 4 Colossi. A Warp Prism is being made. He might want to do another a DT warp in with that, or some kind of other harass in these other bases, so that way he can keep the Zerd from attacking him for as long as possible. He is still not ready for an attack anytime soon. Other than that, we don't see much else going on. He's getting that Swarm Host upgrade, so that way if he does die, or if this army does die, he can rematch on that and just constantly keep the Protoss down until the Protoss will have to GG out if this battle goes well. We do see the Zerd moving out here soon. He should at least try to take out these rots, and so that way he can get lanes in here soon after. This army is moving over to this 3rd base location. The Protoss does not have an observer over this army due to the Overseer being in position. These Vipers do scout the 3rd base, and units are warped in to defend. That Overseer, if it's taken out, he could actually use those DTs in this battle. It is taking a lot of damage from that cannon, but they have broken down the rots. Hallucinated Colossi are being made, but that Overseer will see the real ones and be able to tell his buddies which ones to attack and which ones not to. Another Immortal on the way due to that high roach count, but this army is moving on to the ramp. If he gets force fielded, that would be very painful. He does waste abducts on those fake Colossi. That probably doesn't make him too happy, but that energy can be regained over time. Good move from the Protoss, saving 2 of his actual Colossi. That 3/3 about to finish up, that'll probably be when the Zerd wants to move in. We see that about to happen right now. Force fields could come out. He does. Yeah, there goes the abducts. Those units will focus down the Colossi, greatly mitigating any damage they could do in this fight. A whole bunch of Hydralisks being made so that way he can rematch immediately after this battle is over. That 3/3 just now finishing up after that fight, actually. A small mistiming from the Zerd. 2 DTs being made, as well as a few Zealots over here trying to do as much damage as possible to this base, probably. That is a good counterattack, but it might come too little too late for the Protoss. This army is back in a much better position than if it was still attacking the Protoss's front line. 5 Vipers on the way. That might be a few too many, but I do not play Zerd, so I cannot say for myself. This queen going down as well as these spore crawlers. The DTs will not be seen if these are taken out. Another overseer being created, however, so they will be cleaned up here momentarily, doing a little bit of damage to the Zerg army, but they are gone now. The Spire going down for the Zerg, another DT attack over here, possibly getting this hatchery. We don't see the units coming over here in time. This base will... He does transfuse. Transfuses again. It will be close. It does go down. Okay. The Overseer was not following that army in time, and he does not have that Overlord speed upgrade, I do not believe. So that did allow that base to fall, and we see the 4th base for the Protoss being made, and he will be on even bases with the Zerg now. Supplies are about even. Archons are out. He has no Templar to deal with those Vipers, however, so that might cause him a problem. Those Archons can also be abducted as well as the rest of the Colossi. So those are very expensive units to just allow to be torn from the army. Another Immortal on the way, however, that will allow more damage against those Roaches, and it's not as big of a abduct target for the Zerg. This base going down and around the same time as the Protoss' 4th, and a few more hatcheries going down. Where are those at? Oh yes, he must have gotten this base with another attack that we missed, but this 5th base will be taken care of from the Dark Templar Zealot combo. They're a team. They are going to take on the world. It probably won't go too well for them. This is not their story, but the Greater Spire, in other news, is on the way, as well as 3 Stargates for Protoss. He will have that Sky Toss to use in the case that this army needs to be supported. That will be coming out soon. The +3 weapons for the Protoss is on the way, but he is still on +2 armor compared to the Zerg's 3-3 on the ground. The Overlord speed upgrade on the way, so that way that Overseer will stay with the army and will be able to take care of those DTs much more effectively. He does see this army with the Watchtower line of sight. He might pick off an Immortal here. Yes, that one does get taken down, only getting 1 shot off. The 4th base for the Protoss is down, as well as 4th base over there, but this army is engaging. Another hallucinated Colossi being taken away, but 2 real ones are now in the Zerg army, and they will be taken down. That Blinding Cloud going on, those Stalkers blinking out so they can get out of that much faster. The Warp Prism being able to warp in a lot of Stalkers to support this army, but I don't know if it'll be enough with so many Hydras with that extra 2 upgrades on that Protoss army. The +3 weapons did actually finish rather recently. 27 Roaches being made, but 3 Void Rays are on the way, and that will definitely mitigate any damage that those Roaches can do here soon. The Zerg army does power through due to that upgrade advantage and the better concave. Protoss down to only 80 supply. The Zerg army not picking off that Warp Prism. The 5th base is up for the Zerg. The unit count showing that the Protoss is actually heading probes, but does not have much of an army. One Immortal and 7 Stalkers cannot take out 30 Roaches and a couple of Hydralisks to support them. So we see these Hydralisks going straight for this pylon. There's only 1 pylon powering all of those cannons. These units are being picked off though, but these Roaches are just going to freely run into the 3rd base of the Protoss and kill as many probes as they want, taking out the cannons as well. If he had Burrow, that would be very, very helpful in the scenario, since these Roaches are now somewhat trapped. They can get out through this small hole here, but the Protoss knows that he cannot engage this army effectively in an open combat. He does have another Colossi on the way, but 20 Corruptors are on the way, as well as some more upgrades for the Zerg. Getting those Zergling upgrades as well as the melee attacks, so that way he can just run in with those and clear out the rest of the Zerg's army. Those 20 Corruptors will take out any amount of Void Rays that the Protoss could possibly get out in the meantime. He doesn't have many probes left, only 38 compared to 63 drones, and this is 27 minutes in the game. That is a very bad position for the Protoss to be in. Zerg just can move in rather soon. This DT is going to do some damage to this hatchery, but the army will be moving in very soon. This base not going to suffer the same fate as the 4th base did a few moments ago. A lot of lanes coming out. He's going to be able to come in here rather soon and just kill the Protoss army, I believe. The lanes could run into the now 3rd base. They could run from the side into the Protoss army, or he could just keep map control with those Zerglings. We will see what happens momentarily. Another Void Ray coming out, but like I said, those Corruptors and the Hydralisk will take out any amount of Void Rays that he wants to mass in the meantime. We see the army moving out. No upgrades for the air. The +1 attack will be finishing up here in about 40 seconds. So that will help him if that does come into play before the Protoss GG's out, but it looks like this battle is going to go straight for the Zerg, and he leaves without calling GG. Whew, that was a pretty good game for the Zerg. The Protoss counterattacks were very effective on this third base as well as on the fourth and the third base rather, and did cancel this base at one point. But that was just an economy game. The Protoss had 3 base while the Zerg was on 4 for a time, and he was not hitting him much besides those few counterattacks that after a while the Zerg was in position to take care of. He did lose out on that early attack, not using that mass recall to save those units. Even if they were only a few units, they were important at the beginning of the game. So losing some sentries early on as well, making so he cannot support his other units in the mid game very effectively either, with only a couple of force fields. But that was a good game for Gobo from Excel, and thank you for the replay.